Hello and welcome to this maybe special video or the first one in a new series of videos that I want to make to help you to improve your native level of English understanding, and specifically looking at idioms. Idiom is a set phrase that has a specific meaning but totally different words. So for example, at the end of the day, if you are unaware of the ballpark implications of not breaking the ice, then this is the video that you should be watching, because understanding these idioms and understanding how to use these idioms will definitely improve your native English ability. The video is structured 25 idioms, or some of the most frequently used business idioms. They are explained, and then at the end of the video I have all of them in a sentence context, so that you can perhaps revise, review, and see the meaning of those idioms in a sentence context. I hope this is helpful to you. I know that it will be very helpful if you start using these in your spoken and written English. It will definitely help to improve your IELTS. So let's get going. So let's get started. When we want to say ultimately, or refer to something that happens after a series of events, and when all of the facts have been taken into consideration, we can say at the end of the day. It does not literally mean that the sun is setting at that time. It means that we have considered everything. If we want to make an estimate or an educated guess within acceptable margins, we know that something will be expensive, but we don't know exactly how much it will cost. We can provide what is called a ballpark figure. A ballpark figure. This is not a literal baseball ballpark that we can see in our video, but it is a sum, an amount that is within acceptable margins. If we want to say that we want to initiate conversation or to relieve tension, especially when strangers meet, we can call it to break the ice. To break the ice. When we break the ice, we initiate conversation with somebody else. When we finish work and go home, when we conclude a conversation or a discussion, or finish working on something, we can say, let's call it a day. Let's call it a day. When we call it a day, we can go home, or class is dismissed. When we want to do something cheaper by using fewer resources or cheaper resources, and unfortunately, usually that means lesser quality, we can say that we are cutting corners. To cut corners means that we are sacrificing some quality. Sometimes we give an opposing argument just for the sake of debate or the sake of arguing with somebody, perhaps. We can say that I am playing devil's advocate. I am playing devil's advocate. When we want to warn somebody not to put all their resources in one place because they may lose it if something bad happens, we can say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. If we want to say that we want to let's get things moving, and perhaps you can spot the mistake on this slide. If you can, write about it in the comments below if you feel like it or if you find it just for fun. Then we can say, let's get the ball rolling. Let's get the ball rolling means we get things moving, we get started. If we do more than what is required, if we please our customers beyond their expectations, if we give everything at work plus 10% extra, then we are going the extra mile. To go the extra mile means to do more than what is required. To be observant. To be observant. We instruct somebody to be observant, be on the lookout. We can say, keep your eyes peeled. Keep your eyes peeled, like this meerkat is doing. His or her eyes are peeled, very observant animal. When we want to say that we will search everything and everywhere, maybe you lost your phone or some jewelry in our hotel or restaurant or at the workplace, we can say, we will search for it until we find it. We will leave no stone unturned. We will leave no stone unturned. Referring to people who are in agreement, we can say we are on the same page. It means I agree with you. We are on the same page. When somebody negotiates very fiercely or very aggressively, we can say that they are playing hardball. Playing hardball means that somebody is negotiating very fiercely or very aggressively. If we refer to stopping a project immediately, even if it's not finished, we can say, let's pull the plug. Let's stop doing it. Let's pull the plug on that. And if we want to show all information with hiding nothing, we can say, we put all our cards on the table. Now you know everything. There is nothing that I am hiding from you. Referring to paperwork and regulations, especially if it's really a lot of paperwork that we usually find with governments or government offices, then we can refer to this paperwork as red tape. The red tape will slow down our planning because we have to apply for permission in so many different places, for example. Referring to the good side of a bad situation, we can call it perhaps the silver lining, referring directly to clouds. Storm clouds are usually very dark, but the sun is shining behind them, and we can see in the visual here that there is a silver lining to the clouds. Silver lining, the good side of a bad situation. Referring to keeping up with change and even to some extent staying ahead of competition, we can say ahead of the curve, ahead of the curve that we can see in a line graph, for example. To tackle a problem head on or to confront a bad situation, we can say to take the bull by the horns, to take the bull by the horns. Then we are confronting a problem head on, like these two bulls are doing in our visual. If we want to say that people think in a different way or need to find creative solutions, we can say, think outside the box. Think outside the box. Communicating briefly with someone, and please, part of my brief communication to you is to remind you to subscribe if you find these videos helpful. Thank you very much to those of you who already did so. Every subscriber is appreciated. Communicating briefly with someone, touching base. Let's touch base like people do when they are playing a baseball game and they're doing a home run. When we want to intentionally ignore something, I know what you're doing is wrong, but I will ignore it. We can say, I will turn a blind eye, like the pirate in our visual who has a blind eye. Just a note that this expression, this idiom, can be regarded as sensitive by people who are challenged, visually challenged. So just be careful how we use this idiom, although it is still an idiom that is used quite a lot. Just be sensitive about it, please. When the outcome of something is unknown, when something is still ongoing, maybe a game is ongoing that you like watching, or a project is ongoing, you don't know the outcome, then we can say it is all still up in the air. It is all still up in the air. When a situation becomes difficult or when it becomes urgent, then we can say When push comes to shove, it means that the situation is difficult and perhaps urgent. When we refer to working on a deadline or a time limit, we can say that we work against the clock, And that's our 25 idioms, business idioms. Let's very quickly review and look at their use in sentences. At the end of the day, I am responsible for everything we do in this company. We need to know how much this project will cost. A ballpark figure will be acceptable. Any good presenter knows that a funny story at the start of a presentation will help to break the ice. We worked hard and will finish the project tomorrow. Let's call it a day and go home to get some rest. If you want us to do it cheaper, we will be forced to cut corners, which may negatively affect the safety of our product. If you will allow me to play the devil's advocate and ask whether it will be such a bad thing if we removed some product features to cut costs. When you invest money, buy a diverse number of stocks to make sure that you don't put all your eggs in one basket. Good morning and welcome to the meeting. Let's get the ball rolling by reviewing our latest sales figures. Our success is the result of so many employees going the extra mile by working overtime. When you cross the road, keep your eyes peeled for reckless drivers. Our staff will leave no stone unturned to find the smartphone you left behind in our restaurant. Let's review the plan for the party to ensure that we are on the same page. I had to play hardball, but we got a good discount in the end. I'm afraid that there is no more money for this project, so we will have to pull the plug. In order to get their cooperation, we should put all our cards on the table so that they can know what we stand to lose. If there is not too much red tape involved, we may be able to start construction next month. The silver lining to losing the contract is that we did not need to double our salary expenses. In order to stay ahead of the curve, we train our personnel on a regular basis. Let's tackle the bull by the horns and discuss the problems our customers have reported. In order to find creative solutions to those problems, we really need to think outside the box. I recommend that each group has its own brainstorming session until 11 a.m., after which we can touch base to discuss progress. I will not turn a blind eye to weak excuses. Until the report comes in, the results of our marketing campaign are still up in the air. When push comes to shove, we all should keep in mind that this project has all of us working against the clock. And that's it for today. Thank you very much and have a lovely day. See you next time. Bye-bye.